Good morning, Ashley. Everybody else there in internet land. Good morning to the YouTube. Yeah, I'm touching my head here because I'm making a hair video. You showed so much interest in my hair yesterday, I thought I'd give you a little bit of a closer look. Pictures are crap, and I might be able to do a little bit of a better job here. I think I can still do this with my glasses on. So I thought I'd just pull out each one. They're all very different. The photo from yesterday that you liked was when I first had them put in, my extensions in, and I did have a few dreadlocks and hair wraps at that point, but I decided I wanted to go all out and that I would use the extensions to help me get there. If you go from a straight normal head of hair to dreadlocks and you have dreadlocks put in, it can be very painful. You basically segment each chunk of the hair, and there's different techniques, but one of the most common ones is back combing, where you take a section and you comb backwards. So you're like pulling the hair against the scalp and then you know, knotting it together, and it can be painful or just sore, even if you have a tough head. So if you put extensions in and leave them in longer than they're intended to be there and let them grow out a little bit, you end up with a pre-made dreadlock on the end. Because after you've grouped your hair together to do a hair wrap or one of these extensions, it's just like when you put a dreadlock in, as it grows, it continues to grow as a dreadlock. So by putting them in and then taking them out 3, 6, 9 months later, I had dreadlocks pre-made and then back combed onto those. But what that allowed me to do is I would take the dreadlock that had already formed, pinch, pull, and have somebody back comb it, and then the pressure's not on my head. And so it was a lot less painful. So this is one of the extensions, and this is how far it's gone off my head since it's been put on. It's been in there a lot longer than a year. And I don't know how well you can tell. So this right here is my hair. Not my hair, my hair, not my hair. So you can do a couple of different techniques, and it kind of depends on how the extensions are set up when you get them. Some of them are just straight pieces, and some of them are kind of, you can imagine a straight piece folded and then morphed together except at the top, and there's just a little loop. And so if it's a little loop, you can take 2 sections of hair, string one of them through the loop, and braid it to attach it on. And then usually what they do is you just put a little elastic, one of those little braces elastic or hair elastics around it to hold it in, which is what I had. And then you can just take them out after a week or whatever. But I put embroidery floss and did like a friendship bracelet or hair wrap over. So if my hair was locking into the extension by this much, I left that much, started down here, and then covered it down to here, locking that piece of hair in. So there's no way it's going to come out. And the elastic's gone, because they were popping, and then I'd like have random ones fall out because I kept them in longer than normal. So you just put a hair wrap in, that locks it in, and as you can see, it just stays in. There's a little bone I got, somebody gave me, I put on a few weeks ago. I have another one that's just like that. You can see about the same amount of growth from when they were put in. I think the other thing other than braids they used to lock these in is just like your hair wrap knot. But you have to do it tightly and you have to secure it at the end or it'll just slip out because hair tends to be slippery. This one I put in and I put a tooth in there. Can anybody identify what kind of tooth that is? I'm asking because I have no freaking clue. And then this is more recent. I did some felting. So felting is what I'm about to show you next. That's what I have most of on my hair. And I wanted that instead of the extensions. Some of my extensions are like this and they're synthetic and I don't really like that. Some of my extensions are wool and that's a lot better in my mind, and it's also a lot safer for fire play if I want to do some fire spinning. So I'm trying to change to wool. And you can see here you can get pretty accurate with the felting, and I got all different colors. So let's go through. This is what the felting looks like. This one was 2 dreads that had formed and fused together, I think. And I like to slip a shell up here and then put another dreadlock through there, and it holds the shell in place. And if I want to do like an oceany theme for the day. You can see it's some red and orange felting, light and dark purple. This is one of my favorites. It's a couple of different shades of green with, Adriana, I think those are your hair clasps. I had a lot of loose hair, because some of them I took out and then didn't put back in. And it just changes all the time. You see this one's got some more of those little beads. It's kind of a purple on the tip, red, orange, yellow, and it's got a brass bead up there. It's just multiple colors. And you can see they need work, so they've now grown out a little bit. And I would felt over them, but what I want to do is to strengthen them up and so they don't fall out. I'm going to take a bunch of these hairs when I find somebody who knows how to do it. It's irritating doing it on yourself because your hands are always up here and it's hard to stay like this for a long period of time. It's exhausting pretending to be a monkey. So anyway, there's different techniques for incorporating some of this hair and strengthening it up, and then I'll felt it so that it's not, you know, I don't have empty sections. So this is when you can see I put a felt ribbon up there, actually probably to secure it. That's what you can see here. So I had a dreadlock and it was a bit thin. It started coming out. Two things happen. Well, three things happen. Sometimes they stay the same. But usually what happens is if you have a dreadlock made, it'll get either thinner or really fat. And so you either have to pull hairs out to prevent it from getting too fat, or you have to attach more hairs to prevent it from falling out if you want to keep it. So this one was getting a bit thin. I pulled in some extra hair, knotted it a bit, but because I'm doing it myself and some of the techniques, this technique by just kind of roughly doing it and then felting around it, you can see it's held in. It's not going anywhere. Of course, I have this random string of hair there. This is another one of the synthetic extensions, and this one was a long one, and she just went in the middle and tied it and was able to give me two different lengths. So it was really long, and we didn't do them all so they were the same. We did some of them really long, some of them multiple side, like layers. Let's see, what else have I got here? This did have a synthetic. You can see the stub end of the synthetic and the dreadlock that was underneath it. It was a very rough dreadlock that was covered up. But this one was very, very long. It's also, again, it's not huge on the top. It was very weighty. It was giving me headaches. And the intention was to get rid of the synthetics anyway. So I've got a nice long dread here, and this has not been felted at all. It's just a plain dread. And that's still on there because I was really tired when I took it off, and I was using a scalpel, and I didn't think that exhaustion and a scalpel next to my head in the middle of the night was smart. So I only went up to there and decided not to do that where I couldn't see. Oh, okay. So there's a sea blue one. Sometimes it gets thinned out. You can see little areas where the hair is popping through. It's because the wool will come out, and you just go back in there and put more stuff on there. Or if you're more diligent about it, you can go around daily and just do a little palm roll over the felting, which helps a lot of the loose things, any loose fibers get pulled back in a little bit. Nice and clean. Okay, so what do I want to show you next? This bad boy is one of my favorites. I don't know if you can see, I've just braided in some extra hair, again, because it was getting thin and I didn't want it to go out, and then I put this lovely felting on it, and this is kind of a mosaic felting on there. A little bit on the top and some greens that I pulled a couple different colors together and mixed them. And then I took an ear cuff and earring and I attached it on there. And I like that. And I like leaving little curly cues at the end because I think they're pretty. And there's two more I'd like to show you. This guy, these are really big. If I can find them. This guy, who's one of my larger, thicker dreadlocks. And you can see all the colors that I've managed to incorporate. I don't know if you can tell, I kind of tried to do a little bit of an argyle there, but it might be coming out. Getting fancier and fancier with my felting patterns. And this is just a massive dreadlock. This is one of my oldest now at this point. And it reaches well past my arm. It goes down past my knee. It's getting a little ratty at the end. It's Matt's favorite. I got my honey's ring attached there, so his never fit on me. His hands are way too big. But this was two that had come together. And so yeah, there is my hair. I hope you enjoyed. If you ever do want anywhere. Oh, you know what? Hold on, wait. I gotta show you what Bike did. Where is it? It's up at the top of my head. Okay. Sometimes it's easier to find them down and then go to the base. So this is my most recent hair wrap. Also very long. So that's it. Claire's crazy head of hair. Always changing, so whenever you see me next, anybody who's watching this, it'll probably be slightly different. If you got any ideas, come to Maine and do some crazy shit on my hair. Put some beads on in there. Alright, yep. And if anybody else wants any felting done, I'm your gal. Got me a bag of wool. Alright, take care, and if anybody's interested in like actually seeing how I do it, let me know in the comments, and I'll try and make a video for whatever it is you're asking after. Alright, sorry it's so long. Bye guys.